Our guest today is someone whose career spans over 3 decades in the world of infrastructure, project management, and construction. From overseeing massive projects like the $10 billion.
Balancing speed and efficiency with long-term success in large infrastructure projects is fundamentally about designing discipline into system early, rather than trying to impose control later under.
Now, can you walk us through how you manage to balance the need for speed and efficiency with ensuring that systems and processes are in place for long-term success?
Fundamentals, understanding design, intent, constructability sequencing, and execution discipline.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Sunny Pancholi, and today's episode is for anyone who wants to dive deep into the world of large-scale infrastructure projects, leadership in complex environments, and the real strategies behind delivering some of the most impactful projects on a global scale. Our guest today is someone whose career spans over 3 decades in the world of infrastructure, project management, and construction. From overseeing massive projects like the $10 billion King Abdul Aziz International Airport to driving modernization at airports in Europe, Mr. Ali Tabaja has seen it all. His wealth of experience in managing infrastructure projects across the globe, from the Middle East to Europe, speaks volumes about his leadership, risk management, and operational expertise. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Ali Tabaja, Senior Director at Dar Al-Handasah Consultants. Mr. Tabaja, it's an honor to have you with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Sunny. Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here and part of this conversation to answer your questions.
So let's dive right in, Mr. Ali. Your journey in the infrastructure world spans decades and many continents. From your early days designing roads and bridges to managing multi-billion-dollar airport projects, what has been your most significant learning in balancing technical expertise with leadership? And what would you say to aspiring leaders who might underestimate the importance of managing large-scale projects from both a technical and strategic perspective?
You know, my career has taken me from delivering roads, bridges, tunnels, and dams across the Middle East and Africa to leading multi-billion-dollar airport developments in the GCC, and recently to an airport modernization project in Europe. The most important lesson from that journey is that technical excellence only creates value when it's combined with disciplined leadership and clear strategic control. In my early years, I focused strongly on the technical fundamentals, understanding design, intent, constructability sequencing, and execution discipline. Working on linear infrastructure taught me the importance and clear responsibilities, defined ownership, and accountability in delivery. These foundations are non-negotiable. Without strong technical grounding, even the best funded projects struggle. As I moved into major airport developments, the leadership challenge changed fundamentally. Airports are not just engineering projects. They are really complex socio-technical ecosystems involving regulators, operators, contractors, consultants, government authorities, and end users, all under a very intense public and political scrutiny. At that level, leadership is no longer about solving technical problems personally. It's about structuring decisions, aligning stakeholders, and managing complexity in a disciplined way. A defining experience for me was really the King Abdulaziz International Airport Development Project. The program faced evolving scope, complex interfaces, and multiple regulatory authorities. From the outset of the project, My priority was really to impose clarity and predictability. We established a simple oversight framework, clear ownership across packages, and disciplined decision making. That structure brought everyone onto one governance rhythm and protected the program from fragmentation. When shifting requirements later created pressure on interfaces and schedule, we didn't react informally. We activated a structured fact-based governance response, assessing impacts objectively, assessing ownership, tightening monitoring cycles, and escalating decision through defined channels. That disciplined approach significantly reduced delay risk and restored practically to the program. These experiences really shaped my leadership approach, or per se philosophy. Technical depth really builds credibility. Governance discipline provides control, and strategic alignment delivers outcome. True leadership in mega projects sits on the intersection of all three. For aspiring leaders, to answer your question, my advice is straightforward, but often underestimated. Large-scale project must be managed both technically and strategically. Technical excellence without leadership structure leads to chaos. Leadership vision without technical grounding leads to poor decisions. The balance between the two is what transforms complexity into resilience and ambitions into delivery.
Absolutely. And what a great start to this conversation, Mr. Ali. The clarity with which you described your evolution and the discipline behind your project leadership offers valuable insight into how large, complex programs are truly managed. Great. So, continuing our conversation, you have managed projects that spans continents, like the 10 billion King Abdul Aziz International Airport and the Beauvais Airport modernization. With such massive undertakings, you must frequently collaborate with boards and high-level stakeholders. So, how do you ensure that governance and strategic oversight remain strong throughout the life cycle of these large projects? And part B of my question is, what role does the board play in helping you maintain the balance between day-to-day execution and long-term vision?
Thank you. Thank you for this question. You know, when leading large global programs such as King Abdulaziz International Airport or similar mega project, the greatest threat for success is rarely technical complexity. It is fragmented governance. My primary leadership responsibility is to ensure that governance and strategic oversight remain strong, consistent, and decision-focused through the entire project lifecycle. From the outset, I establish a single unified oversight framework, regardless of the geography, whether the project is in Saudi Arabia, Africa, Turkey, Europe. All teams operate under the same reporting structure, decision protocols, escalation path, and performance dashboards. This really clarifies and avoids overlap and ensures automatically any accountability across interfaces and work packages. You know, in this respect, governance strength is reinforced through consistent reporting and formal decision tracking. Key decisions are documented with their rationale and assessed against the master plan, which protects strategic intent over the long timeline. This allows leadership and stakeholders to maintain clear line of sight on the project and intervene early before issues escalate. Based on senior level management, so board and senior level management engagement is central to this approach. I deliberately communicate with boards in a focused decision-oriented way rather than operational detail. My updates concentrate on material risks, approvals, or direction required, and emerging issues that could affect long-term outcomes. This enables boards to apply their authority where it adds the most value, whether that resolving regulatory, financial, or multi-agency constraint that cannot be addressed at project level. On the King Abdulaziz International Airport program, this ensured senior leadership maintained a single integrated view of both delivery reality and strategic impact. Rather than separating execution from strategy, I deliberately connect the two, showing how day-to-day delivery decisions influence long-term performance, resilience, and public value. This alignment really prevents a drift between intent and outcome. Ultimately, governance in mega project is not about control. It's its own sake. It's about protecting strategic intent while enabling delivery. While boards provide continuity of vision, authority, and challenge, my role is really to translate that guidance into structured systems, disciplined execution, and aligned teams on the ground. When these elements work together, large global projects maintain direction, absorb complexity, and deliver resilient outcomes across the entire life cycle of the project.
Absolutely. So, on those lines, Mr. Ali, managing large-scale infrastructure projects require careful attention to detail and long-term planning, especially in areas like procurement and risk management. Now, can you walk us through how you manage to balance the need for speed and efficiency with ensuring that systems and processes are in place for long-term success? And how do you ensure the project is on track despite the complexities that come with such large budgets and timelines?
Mhm. Yeah, balancing speed and efficiency with long-term success in large infrastructure projects is fundamentally about designing discipline into system early, rather than trying to impose control later under pressure. From the start, I established clear procurement frameworks and standardized process across airports, highways, and major developments. This means defined procurement strategies, pre-agreed evaluation criteria, and harmonized documentation. These structures allow teams to move quickly without taking shortcuts because decisions are guided by clarity and consistency, not improvisation. As such, approval pathways are deliberately kept lean, so momentum is preserved even on large budget and complex scopes. In practice, this approach typically reduces procurement cycle time to around 20 to 25% while maintaining quality and compliance. Speed, in my experience, does not come from weakening governance. It comes from eliminating ambiguity, rework, and late corrections. In addition, long-term success also depends on early visibility and proactive risk management. From day one, I set up integrated tracking tools covering cost, schedule, procurement, and risk, supported by early warning indicators. These tools are forward-looking. They highlight where deviations is emerging before it becomes disruption. I've seen this work very, very clearly in practice. On an airport expansion program, early warning data identified the potential delay related to critical equipment delivery. Because the risk was identified early, we intervened immediately, engaging suppliers and resequencing of activities. And by this, we avoided considerable schedule slip and associated cost impacts. That's how efficiency and control coexist. Fast action anchored in verified data. Another point important that accountability is embedded structurally in the system. Every work package has a clearly defined owner responsible for delivery, interfaces, cost control, and risk closure across full life cycle. This prevents diffusion of responsibility and really it creates a continuity over long short-term milestones, but against long-term performance, operability, and contractual outcome. To keep complex progress on track, I rely on this structural review cycles. These are decisions forums rather than status meetings. They align teams on progress, risk, and upcoming milestone, and corrective actions are by this driven by facts, not by assumptions. Okay, this consistency is critical when conditions evolve. When issues also emerge that affect scope, budget, or key interfaces, I engage senior stakeholders early. Escalation is treated as governance mechanism, not a weakness. Consistent reporting ensures in that case that project team, controls functions, and executive leadership are all working from the same information set, enabling timely and confident decisions. Ultimately, speed in mega project is sustainable only when it is system enabled. By combining standardized procurement, early warning risk visibility, clear accountability, and disciplined decision making, I ensure projects stay agile in execution while protecting long-term value, even under very large budget and extended project timelines.
Rightly said, Mr. Ali. So let's move on to the next segment of questions, which is our quick fire round. I will ask you a few quick questions and you give us the first answer that comes to your mind. So are you ready for it?
Yeah.
All right. So first question, what's the best piece of leadership advice you have ever received?
Act fast in a crisis, but always anchor decision on verified data.
Okay. If you could solve one global issue in the next 5 years, what would it be?
It would be bridging infrastructure gaps to unlock economic growth and resilience.
Brilliant. Is there a particular moment in your career that you consider a turning point?
Navigating the King Abdul Aziz International Airport through unprecedented challenges.
Okay. Next one. What's one habit you believe has contributed most to your success?
Daily structure reviews and open communication with my team horizontally and vertically, and definitely with the project stakeholders.
All right. What's one thing you do to recharge when you need a break?
Reflecting on lessons learned and actually spending time with family.
Nice. What's the most important trait you look for in a leader?
Accountability, proactiveness, and adaptability under pressure.
Incredible. All right. Looking ahead, what's one challenge you are excited to take on in the next stage of your career?
After this long experience, I believe nowadays driving sustainable and innovative infrastructure in emerging markets in better livable cities.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for the quick answers, Mr. Ali. It's always insightful to hear how successful leaders like yourself navigate both personal and professional challenges. Let me ask you, Mr. Ali, in large infrastructure projects, crises can often emerge unexpectedly. For example, during the construction of major airports or highways, where delays and cost overruns are common. One notable example is the challenges faced during the construction of the Berlin-Brandenburg Airport, which experienced significant delays and financial issues. Now, in your experience, when a project hits a crisis like this, such a regulatory hurdles, delays, or budget overruns, how do strong governance and risk management practices help stabilize the project and ensure it gets back on track?
Yeah. Sunny, in large infrastructure projects, crises rarely come from a single event. They usually emerge from a combination of regulatory constraints, financial pressure, delivery slippage, or accumulated risks that suddenly become visible. From my experience, what determines recovery is not the scale of the crisis, but how quickly strong governance and risk management are activated. When a project enters crisis, governance is the first stabilizer. My immediate focus is in this case to activate the decision structure so issues are escalated to the correct level without delay. Ambiguity at this stage is dangerous. Boards, regulators, and senior stakeholders must be presented with a verified, transparent data, not assumptions or optimistic narratives. A clear fact-based information is what allows confident decisions under pressure. At the same time, priorities must be reconfirmed explicitly. Teams need absolute clarity on what must be protected first, whether regulatory compliance, schedule continuity, financial exposure, or safety. Reporting cycles are tightened to regain control over information flow and to reinforce leadership direction during uncertainty. I experienced this directly on a mega project where the main contractor encountered severe financial difficulty, creating a real risk of work stoppage and cascading delays. The immediate threat was not technical failure, but fragmentation between stakeholders and misorientation. I acted as a catalyst between the client, contractor, construction manager, and financing entities. We activated the project's governance mechanism, presented transparent data, and moved into focused negotiations. Emergency funding was secured. Responsibilities were restructured, and confidence was stabilized across the delivery chain. Once governance is reestablished, risk management prevents the crisis from spreading. The first step is definitely the true trigger, whether it is scope, design maturity, regulatory approval, interface misalignment, or financial structure. Treating symptoms without isolating the cause only compounds the problem. When the trigger is clear, downstream impacts on schedule, on cost, on interfaces can be reassessed systematically. As such, corrective actions must then be focused, owned, and time-bound. Every action has a clear owner, deadline, and follow-up mechanism. By this, monitoring tools are strengthened, so early warning signals are captured before problems re-emerge. During recovery, risk management becomes a control mechanism, not a reporting exercise. Driving the project back to the long-term path requires a short, credible recovery plan. Leadership decisions are then translated into clear field-level actions and presented transparently to the board, including residual risk and required approval. This builds alignment and confidence at senior level. Equally important, resynchronization between contractors, consultants, and authorities around a single sequence of priority. During recovery, misalignment is more damaging than delay. Disciplined governance controls remain in place until the project demonstrably returns to the baseline stability. Ultimately, infrastructure crises are not resolved through heroic intervention. They are resolved through structured governance, disciplined risk management, and calm, and most importantly, consistent leadership behavior. When those elements are in place, even severely challenged projects can stabilize, regain momentum, and achieve successful delivery.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Ali, you are a member of Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. Let me ask you before we wrap up, how has being part of Directors Institute influenced your approach to leadership and decision making, particularly when navigating complex projects or crises?
Becoming a member of the Directors Institute, World Council of Directors, has significantly influenced how I approach leadership and decision making, particularly in complex projects and during periods of crisis. Its impact has been academic. It has strengthened how I think, how I govern, and how I lead under pressure. One of the most important influences has been my decision framework. Exposure to directors from diverse industry beyond engineering and construction, which is my base experience. This has sharpened my ability to assess issues through a broader lens. I increasingly rely on structured decision model, especially in high pressure situation, to clearly define trade-offs and consequences. This has expanded my perspective on risk, long-term value creation, and project viability beyond immediate delivery metrics. The Institute has also reinforced my governance discipline. It strengthened my conviction that governance is not confined to the boardroom. It must be reflected in daily leadership behavior in complex infrastructure projects. I consistently apply board level principles such as transparency, accountability, and discipline escalation within the operational environment. I believe this ensures that field realities remain aligned with strategic oversight and that issues are surfaced early, not corrected after they escalate. Another key influence has been on how I navigate crisis. Learning from peers who have managed crisis across multiple sectors, corporate, regulatory, financials, has improved my readiness to the unexpected. These shared experiences reinforce structured crisis response principle, early recognition of weak signals, disciplined prioritization, and rapid leadership alignment. In summary, the Directors Institute has not replaced my technical or delivery foundation. It has broadened and disciplined it. It has sharpened how I frame decision, strengthened my governance leadership, and enhanced my ability to lead with clarity and resilience during crisis. That perspective has made me more effective, more confident in managing large projects, high stakes infrastructure programs where judgment, not just execution, but uh, defines ultimately the real success.
Great to hear that, Mr. Ali. And let me tell you, this has been such an insightful and thought-provoking conversation. From navigating complex projects to embracing strong governance and leadership, your experiences are a masterclass in building success that stands the test of time. So thank you for sharing your journey and wisdom with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Sunny. It's been a real privilege to be part of this conversation. I truly enjoyed the exchange and appreciate the opportunity to share these perspectives with such an engaged audience. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Mr. Ali, and to our listeners, whether you are an aspiring leader, a seasoned pro, or simply someone interested in the world of infrastructure, today's episode has surely given you plenty to think about. Remember, real leadership isn't just about facing challenges, it's about having the vision, the strategy, and the resilience to turn those challenges into opportunities. This has been FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Sunny Bancholi, signing off for now. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and always stay ahead. Thank you so much.